while I was there, I went on a field trip in college to a funeral home. Gets where it gets weirder.
Okay. Welcome to Lively Out Loud with your host, Brittani Stokes, the podcast where we bring the heartbeat of Lively Technical College straight to you. Joining me today is a very special guest, Miss Elizabeth Emmanuel. She's the Vice President of Public Affairs with the Florida Trucking Association. Elizabeth brings a wealth of knowledge, and we can't wait to dive into her journey. Let's get right into it. So, Elizabeth, tell me a little bit about yourself and your role at the Florida Trucking Association.
So I am new to the association.
Wow.
I've been there about 10 months now, and it's been an incredible whirlwind. When I first joined, we had the Truck Driving Championships, which is like the Olympics for professional truck drivers.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was my first week in the job. We were down in Daytona, and they were driving 11 different classes of semi-trucks, step vans, auto haulers through the convention center to showcase how amazing these professional drivers are. And since then, I've gotten the opportunity to work with these drivers and the amazing companies that they work for to tell their stories and showcase the strength of the trucking industry and get to tell folks about the way that they are ensuring that we have everything that we need, because if you bought it, a truck brought it.
Yes.
And make sure that, these folks are represented and heard, and people understand what an amazing industry it is.
Absolutely. That is awesome.
It's been fun.
Yay. So you mentioned to Lanisha that you took an unconventional path after high school. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I was very involved in mission work in high school.
Okay.
Specifically in Cuba. When I was 15, I started going, and I knew when I graduated high school that I wasn't going to go immediately to college. I never applied to a college. I took a gap year, and I spent a lot of time working in Cuba and Guatemala and Uruguay, doing different volunteer efforts, everything from, sewing couch cushions at a coffee shop to education on AIDS prevention and dental hygiene. And I got to do so many different projects in different places that it was really eye-opening and transformative. And, came back and decided, I guess I need to go to college. So I enrolled at what is now TSC.
Okay.
And went there for a few years. While I was there, I went on a field trip in college to a funeral home. Gets where it gets weirder.
Okay.
And while I was there, I was offered a job.
Okay.
And I thought pay was good. Better than, the job that I had been working. So I started working at the funeral home and got an apprenticeship in embalming and realized that it was an amazing industry.
Cool. That is so cool.
It really was. It was great to have hands-on experience in the workforce and realize that it was something that I felt really strongly about. So I worked my way through college and then transferred to a mortuary school up in Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah. Got my degree.
Wow.
Ended up coming back to Tallahassee because it was an easier place to get a job, which was a little surprising, but it was a very family-dominated, male-dominated industry, so it was tough to get into. And then worked in Tallahassee at Beavis Funeral Home for a number of years, had an amazing career there, and then got out of the industry.
Wow.
So, and on to the next.
That is so cool. See, I've always wanted to get into mortuary school as well, so that's awesome. Love that.
It's a great career.
Yeah. You were able to obtain a skill early on before a degree. How did that work out for you?
So it was great. Being able to be an apprentice meant I was paid to learn,
Yes.
which was an incredible opportunity. It let me know that this was an industry I wanted to get into before I went and spent money on a degree and, encumbered myself with any kind of loans. So that was also really helpful. And when I went to mortuary school, it was basically a trade school. It was only mortuary students there. It was a very small college. Everyone there was also working while they were in school. So
Okay.
they understood that mentality of needing to, ensure that they got the job done and that there was still time for class. So it was a pretty good flexible environment with a lot of students that were focused on the same industry and obtaining the same skills. Our classes were really practical. It was embalming. It was restorative art. It was
so more hands-on learning.
very,
Yeah.
very hands-on.
Okay.
And it was a great opportunity to learn more about a specific industry and get to learn from folks who had been involved in it as well. So it really gave me a good passion for funeral homes and funeral directing and getting to experience what that was like before getting a job. I felt really prepared when I was ready to start my career because I'd had so much experience in school.
Awesome. So it's pretty much the experience that our students have here. Yeah, they have the hands-on learning, and then we send them out into the world. Okay.
And it was great because it was a really high job placement.
Yes.
So being able to come directly from school to getting a job, even if it wasn't in the location that I thought it would be, was a great opportunity.
That is awesome.
And while I'm not working in the field anymore, it still was surprisingly transferable. I took accounting, I took business, outside of, the fact that embalming skills don't really translate to other careers.
Sure.
The event planning, the psychology, a lot of that is very transferable when you realize the setting changes, but the skill set doesn't.
Awesome. That's awesome. So my next question, what is your role with Lively?
I've loved getting to be involved with Lively.
Okay.
So Todd O'Neill with the medium and heavy trucks,
Yes.
who's been a great member of the Florida Trucking Association, got me involved.
Okay.
And I've gotten to be on the Student Advisory Council. And
How has that been?
Oh, it's awesome. I have been so excited to learn about more than just the diesel programs and the heavy machinery programs, which are absolutely amazing. I have loved getting to learn more about welding and, the barber programs and nursing and realizing all of the different opportunities that students have at Lively and seeing the passion from the instructors and the way that the equipment that Lively has really surpasses a lot of other technical colleges in the state. Now I'm getting to travel. I talk to some of these other folks in the heavy machinery and the diesel tech programs, and I'm learning that, their equipment isn't as new as
and up to date as Lively.
Yeah, man, Lively just has it going.
Yes.
So it's super cool to realize what Lively's got and how advanced the programs are, and realizing that folks are using virtual technology to get into welding and all of the different advancements that are being made so quickly, and how good it is by comparison to a lot of other programs that are available.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So what would you say a Lively student look like? I know you've been in the trades as well. So what would you say a Lively student is? How does that look?
It looks like anyone that's got a desire to learn a skill and wants to get a good career quickly.
Okay.
I think the great thing is that, the trade in general is focused on getting folks skills and getting them employed.
Yes.
And I think that can look like anybody that wants a good job and a good career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So based on your experience with Lively, what would you like the community to know about us?
I think there's so much people can learn about what's going on here.
Mhm.
And I think it's exciting to be a part of it and to recognize that this is something that we have going on in our community.
Yes.
I think if folks are interested, there's so many great ways to get involved.
Mhm.
And it can be involvement at any level. There's World of Work that's showcasing the different job opportunities and careers. So if folks are looking for talent and looking to showcase what their businesses have to offer to new employees, I
Yes.
think that's a great way to get involved. But I think, Lively's got so many cool opportunities, and any opportunity, if I say opportunity one more time, I've
Oh,
said
it's
it
okay.
12
It's
times.
definitely opportunities. A
Right?
lot of
But
opportunities here.
being able to
Yeah.
come see what's going on and the different programs from, the HVAC to plumbing to aviation. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just neat
Mhm.
to see and to recognize that advanced training is going on at any level of career in Tallahassee, right in our backyard.
Right.
I would hope, that folks come to take a look at what's going on
Right.
and that more folks consider the career opportunities that can come from Lively.
Yes. Awesome. So your job offer opportunities for our students. What can they expect coming into your company?
So the trucking industry has so many opportunities. I think a lot of folks think that trucking is drivers, and that is an essential part of it. And having a CDL is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many additional opportunities for fast-paced, high-paying careers. There's, anything from warehouse opportunities to be a manager of a warehouse and get involved in what happens taking those goods from a truck, and those next steps, being involved in the supply chain is really incredible. Logistics, brokering, it isn't just driving that is part of trucking. It is so many different avenues. Diesel tech obviously is a very important one.
Absolutely.
But realizing that now looks so different.
Mm-hmm.
It is very tech driven.
Okay.
So there's a lot of super cool tech components in trucking as well. There's telematics that are involved, not just in the diesel tech, but in software development, in advancing what is capable, what makes trucks safer, how they drive on the road. A lot of those things offer really great work-life balance. They're high income potential. They don't require advanced degrees. They just require drive. So getting more folks involved in what is essential to trucking outside of, we kind of say beyond the wheel.
Right.
Is a really exciting opportunity for students, and getting folks to realize that they, can market these trucking companies if they want to. They can market the telematics. They can create software and companies and startups. And there's limitless potential involved in every avenue of the trucking and supply chain industry. And they're always looking for talent. Like, it is something that you can get plugged in tomorrow and have an incredible career where you learn on the job and advance to being a leadership role pretty quickly.
Awesome. That's awesome. Some great opportunities.
Great opportunity.
Why do you feel that trades have taken off?
I think an exciting thing about trades is recognizing how much individuals are capable of accomplishing and how necessary it is to have those folks with technical skills a part of the team. It is so important to what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, and it allows for a lot of career opportunities and creativity. So it's, great to be able to work with your hands, to be able to see what you are accomplishing in a tangible way. You
For
walk
sure.
in and you've got a problem that needs to be fixed and you've got the tools to solve it. And a lot of it's fun. It's been really interesting to see it's almost like the gamification of a lot of the trades. So being in the Amazon warehouses and seeing that they're almost like playing a video game to move the goods through the warehouse, like it looks so fun that I'm like, can I try? Could I do it? And that's the same thing with a lot of the diesel tech and the computer programs, and realizing if you do one thing, you get a different outcome. And that's not something that folks working an office job are going to get to experience.
Right.
So I think there's a really cool opportunity to see improvements in real time and be a part of what solves problems. And at the end of the day, you get to go home, you have a little bit of better work-life balance, and you have amazing job security. Like there is always a need for folks in the trade. And that's an important thing to consider.
Big need.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. So what do you have coming up that you're excited about in your job?
I get excited about a lot.
Okay.
Especially for the Trucking Association.
Let's hear.
But something that we've got coming soon is actually a website that's got a whole pipeline of jobs beyond the wheel. So we'll be able to showcase lively students the career opportunities that are available.
Awesome.
Yeah, what it looks like to be a warehouse manager or to be a diesel technician, what those companies are that are hiring around the state, what it could look like if they wanted to get into transportation law, logistics, brokering, HR. There's a lot of different pathways. So we'll highlight them and showcase folks what that looks like and who's hiring.
Awesome. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, knowing what you know now, what would it be?
I think it's so important for folks to realize that skills are important.
Yes.
And gaining experience is important, but being open to the opportunities that lie ahead and realizing that those skills that you're learning are transferable.
Yes.
They are applied even outside of certain industries, and it is great to stay open to what the opportunities look like. I'm all about planning. I'm all about goal setting. I think that that's vital, but recognizing that, you could be open to amazing opportunities if you can look a little bit beyond what the hyper-focus is, because you don't want to miss out on, great roles and careers and community that could be waiting.
Awesome. Well, this has been absolutely amazing. I've learned a lot from you today.
Thanks. It's been fun.
This has been absolutely amazing. Is there anything you would like to leave us with?
Lively's an amazing institution.
I concur.
These students are lucky to have access to the technologies, to the teachers. I think, these instructors seem really good at the industries that they are in. I think if you look at higher ed in general, a lot of folks are really good at the theory and they know a lot about being good teachers and instructors, but the folks at Lively have practical job experience that I think will really make an impact on a student's ability to get plugged into a good job. So I think that just commending the instructors that are here, their passion for the students, and for wanting to get people good jobs with good understanding is excellent.
Yes.
So I hope that the students enjoy their time here. And I'm glad that I get to be a part of it and get to see the hard work that everybody's putting into this system.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Lively Out Loud with your host, Brittani Stokes. See you next time. please don't forget to follow us on livelytech.com/podcast. And please make sure you follow us on all social media outlets.